Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all the sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
What strange times we're living in when the guy making Star Wars says, I didn't know they were sneaking all that Star Wars stuff in there. This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe. Of course, with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey, Doug, how you doing this week?
Doing pretty good, Joe. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
That is funny, and it's funny because the guy making Star Wars might not be who you're thinking.
Right?
I mean, clearly, the first person that comes to mind when you say guy making Star Wars is George, but that ain't the case anymore.
No. Hasn't been for a minute.
Right.
Tony Gilroy. This guy.
Yeah, this guy.
This guy is out making excuses for I didn't put those Easter eggs in there.
I don't know if he's making excuses.
No, I say that in jest, right?
Right.
It seems like he's not wanting anything to do with it a little bit.
I know. It's funny.
Because he's always saying oh, I don't want to be that guy that, sneaks all this, foreground Star Wars stuff,
Right.
Dude, you're making Star Wars.
Yes. It's okay, don't worry. You don't have to worry about that part. The crew's going to do it for you. That's
Yeah, it's just funny. It almost seems like he's well, I'm not trying to make Star Wars here.
Yeah.
It's in the name, I know, but
right.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. It's weird. It's funny. I don't know. He seemed to be okay with it, Oh, yeah. So, yeah, he's his quote here is, every now and then they sneak shit in there that even I don't know. I was reading online about the antiquities in Luthen's gallery, and the provenance of some of those antiquities was news to me. So it was fantastic that the art department snuck those things in there. See, he said it's fantastic, so.
Yeah, I love that. He's yeah, every now and then they sneak shit in there. Dude, it's only been 11 episodes.
I know.
It's every now and then.
It is funny. I thought I caught a new one in this episode.
Oh.
I didn't go back and check it, but in Luthen's shop, I thought I saw what might have been a Gungan shield. You know how they have the whatever they are.
Yeah.
The force field shield things, whatever.
Plasma shield. Or
Plasma shield. Right. So, because it looked like a shield with just the wire frame of it,
Right.
And I could be making a leap there. I don't know, but something similar anyway.
Yeah, it turns out that's just for his, streaming service.
Exactly.
It's
It's my DirecTV.
it's HD antenna.
Yes.
But yeah, I can't help but chuckle every time that he's making comments about this. No, it wasn't me.
Right. Exactly.
Never seen. I've never seen a writer and stuff be so not taking credit for stuff going on.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. He's got a hang up about it. That's for sure. But
it's almost like he just doesn't want to get associated with Star Wars too much. So maybe he thinks it's going to kill his career. I don't know.
It could be something like that because I'm sure a lot of people in that industry may look at that as a, kiss of death for your career or something like that. It doesn't have to be, Plenty of people have gone on to have great careers. But
no, I mean, I think he's everything he's done so far, right? Like you look at Rogue One, you look at Andor,
Uh-huh.
and you look at the blend of like new and old. You know, getting those nods in, but telling a new story. The nods aren't overpowering.
Right.
Your quote fan service moments, they're not overpowering.
Right.
Right? He's got balance. There's been balance in everything that's happened between Rogue One and Andor. And then you got Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams.
Right.
Rian Johnson's like, I want all new. I just want to go off in this new direction. I want to kill everything that's that's old.
Right.
And then you got J.J. Abrams like, I got to fit every Easter egg I can. Like, in fact, I'm going to make the third film of this trilogy, and I'm just going to cram everything that's been missed.
Well, yeah.
Shit.
I mean, if he didn't try to do that, people would complain that he didn't try to do that. You have to admit that.
Some people would complain.
Sure.
Some people would complain. But it turned out that there was like 2 hours of stuff that was missed. So, yeah, I think the show has good balance. It's getting that stuff in there in very subtle ways.
Right.
It's great.
And it works because the people who, like us, we talked about this back when we first saw Luthen's shop. The people who notice this stuff are going to talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to notice this stuff in order to get the story. So
right.
It works out well that way.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to. I mean, even like the things that are being identified as holocrons, right? Even though they're absolute jumbos.
Right.
And they're the biggest holocrons ever.
Right.
But, those shapes are recognizable. They're giant.
Yeah.
They're obvious, like, showpieces, right?
Yeah, totally.
Probably something that like an artist would make based on historic whatever.
Right.
Architecture, drawings, things you'd find in temples, right? An artist would make something like this.
Yeah.
Rendition, right? That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, because, thinking about the time you're in here, those things might be frowned upon as decor.
Right. Well, maybe not as decor, but if they were real,
yeah, that'd be a problem.
That's going to get you dead.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's funny. I like that. It's like, hold on, they're sneaking it in there. That's the part where I was kind of like, they have to sneak it in.
I know, it's funny.
They can't tell you like, hey, we're putting this in there. It's going to be out of the way, but it's still going to be in the shot, right?
Exactly.
It sounds like he is saying, look, none of this stuff goes in there. And they're like,
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's kind of the way it sounds. I think he's trying to make it out that way, but I mean, okay, so we got a ship flying away, and okay, he's going to get chased by Imperials, and he's like, what are you doing with those TIE fighters? I didn't ask for those. It doesn't work that way.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and sneak stuff in there. I mean, come on.
Right.
I can't believe a guy's writing Star Wars and he doesn't know what a holocron looks like. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I mean, even more than those. I mean, those oh, what is that stuff called? Han was frozen in. My God, I can't.
Oh yeah,
remember.
all the carbonite stuff.
Carbonite. Yeah, those carbonite slabs. I mean, that would be kind of an obvious one, you know?
Yeah, I didn't know they snuck in all these Easter eggs, dude. There's Indy's whip.
Right. Exactly.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's never on set. I don't know.
It's
He
possible.
just wrote it.
Exactly.
So maybe they're not even. It's not even sneaking it in. It's like, well, the boss ain't here.
Right.
Maybe that's it. Maybe he's just the hands-off boss, and he's never there, and they're just like, do what we want. Boss
Yeah.
is away. Let's play.
That's funny. I don't know. Whether he wants it or not, he's getting the Star Wars into the Star Wars, and you know, he can keep making Star Wars because it's good Star Wars.
Oh yeah, doing a good job. I mean, obviously, you don't write everything that's on the shelf, you know, like
Right. Yeah. True.
so. If putting it in there, is sneaking it in. Anyway, all right. So there's a new documentary coming to Disney Plus.
Right. This thing looks interesting to me.
Yeah, if you would have told me we'd be talking about like the Beatles and stuff on our Star Wars podcast,
I'd
I'd be like, what?
I know.
So if these walls could sing. So a new documentary coming to Disney Plus talking about the history of Abbey Road Studios in London.
Right.
And it's got appearances from John Williams, George Lucas. There we go.
Exactly.
That's why we're talking about it.
That's exactly why. But yeah, all around, my opinion, this would be something to check out because you know it interests me from the music side of things as well. So
Oh yeah. I mean, and you look at people that are showing up in this documentary. You got obviously Paul McCartney,
right,
since it's being directed by his daughter.
right,
You got Elton John. So I'm interested, like, because who all did stuff at Abbey Road? Like for me, I know the obvious ones, right?
I couldn't tell you everyone, but I mean, it was like the studio to go record in the 60s in England. You know, it's like,
Right.
I mean,
Right. Like I said, I can tell you the obvious ones, right?
Sure. Yeah.
You know, but like, I'd love to see a deep dive into this studio because I mean, shit, there's an album named after it. Right?
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah.
And of course, I knew that there was a Star Wars connection. Abbey Road's in a pretty small building. So, I mean, what's their involvement? Are they doing post?
Oh, I got to be honest. I don't know. It's possible that it could be something as simple as that.
Yeah, because I mean, you're not fitting the London Symphony Orchestra into Abbey Road, like.
Right. Yeah, that's possible. They could be doing all their mixing and mastering there, you know. Because, yeah, I believe you're right. I mean, we've seen all the pictures of them recording.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly tight.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Unless that building's way bigger on the inside than it looks.
Yeah, I don't think so. I have seen pictures and video of it, and I don't think it's big enough for the whole LSO.
It's barely big enough for 4-piece.
Right. No, it's big enough for that, but it's yeah.
No, but I mean, I've seen Beatles stuff in the past and stuff at Abbey Road, and like you see them in there, dude. It's not big.
Oh no,
it's not big.
Oh,
They're
no.
in there doing their, recording tracks and stuff, and it's just they're in a small room.
Oh yeah,
it's not big. It's not like even some of the studios you see for bands recording here in the States. It's some of the bigger studios, right? And they're in a room that's as big as like a large garage.
Right.
At Abbey Road, they're in like an apartment living room.
Exactly. Yes. That's about a good way to put it. Which is big enough,
It's big enough. Yeah, it's going to do the trick.
Yep.
But yeah, you ain't fitting the LSO in
there. Right.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting. This is definitely one that I am very much looking forward to watching.
Yeah, me too. I'm into that kind of stuff. I will definitely be checking it out.
So I mean, it was funny too because when I was looking through to watch Andor, seeing all the new to Disney Plus stuff.
Yep.
A lot of the Nat Geo stuff that showed up and all that.
Right.
Like, wow, I kind of watch that. I want to watch that. I want to watch that.
Right.
Going through putting a bunch of stuff on my list, and I'm probably never going to watch, but
yeah, there's way more stuff to watch than I have time for. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, but this one is moving to the front of the queue.
Star Wars always bumps up to the top. Yes, or Star Wars Connections. That's for sure.
All right. So this one's going to be quick, but it's been a while since we featured Mark Hamill's Twitter.
Oh yes, the famous Mark Hamill's Twitter.
I mean, we were talking about like, man, we need a jingle,
right?
Like we need to make a segment out of Mark Hamill's Twitter.
Oh yes,
and it kind of went quiet for a while. At least as far as Star Wars goes.
Yeah,
could have went a whole nother way, but but it's back. So he had a post. It's a picture of him on set of The Mandalorian, right?
Yep.
And it says, "This is for those who claim the character was accomplished exclusively with CGI without my participation. Hashtag been there, done that."
Huh. So
I gotta ask, Mark, I don't know what you're seeing. Maybe they're DMs or something. I don't know.
Well, I was gonna say, you say those people, and it's like, you mean plural?
It's like that guy and that guy,
right?
Like,
I guess.
Because I am not seeing. I even like went on a Google like search looking for this stuff.
Yes, I did the same.
What the
thing.
hell is Mark Hamill talking about?
Right.
I'm not doubting him that he's gotten something, but this is not a widespread thing.
Exactly.
And then I'm like even looking through the comments, and I'm seeing some comments like, "Yeah, all these things I've been reading. What the hell are you talking about?" Dude, they did a gallery that showed him on set.
Right.
Those pictures were everywhere.
Exactly.
Like exclusively CGI without my participation. I don't see it. Now, on my search, I see there's a lot of stuff. They didn't use his voice at all. Yeah, they said that.
Right.
I don't. Maybe there's some conflating of things you're seeing. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. It's personally, I wasn't able to find anybody like really disputing Hamill's involvement. So it's like, okay, man. Yeah. You know, do your thing on Twitter.
I mean, I guess I could take this picture, put my face in Mark's place there, and just be like, "This is for those who doubt my involvement."
Right.
You know, like,
exactly.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't see it. I beg everyone listening, if you've seen it, send it, please.
Right.
So we can roast it. Like, it's just, I don't get it. Like, the gallery came out like 20 minutes after this episode aired. I don't.
Yeah. Exactly. That I don't know. It's funny because everybody was like so, you know, I don't know, excited is the word, but you know, I really wanted to see just how it was they did what they did, you know, and everything about the technology was coming out, like you said, right after the episode aired. And it's like, I don't think anyone was really questioning his involvement, you know? I don't know.
I mean, I'm not doubting that there's like the hangers on, right, that are still just absolutely hating CGI in Star Wars. You know, because there are some.
Okay. Yeah.
There are some that, like, the only Star Wars is the originals, and after that it just sucks. There's definitely those.
Okay. Nice voice.
Got to do something for it, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Idiotic.
Oh, that's funny. It's funny. I still haven't met these people, but you know,
they're out there. They're out there. I can introduce you to one.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Even though, like, I don't know if he's one anymore, because like he finally broke down and watched the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, the Clone Wars is good, but everything else.
Really? Okay.
All right.
I want to meet this guy then. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It just creates a lot of arguments. I can tell you that.
That's okay. That's okay.
I can't wait to see him again, because I got a Jar Jar Binks shirt. So
that's funny.
Oh, I'm wearing it. Like, I'm going in like we're fighting today.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, back to what I was saying. I don't doubt that there's that. And I don't doubt that there's just people that are just like, yeah, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't even do it, man. It was all CGI.
You know, it wouldn't surprise me if that was, you know, the more plausible story. Because, yes, people do get bored.
And that's where I said the conflating of what's being said.
Uh-huh.
Is people maybe saying that, right? Like, it wasn't you, it was a CGI. Like, okay, yeah, you were standing there, cool. But it was CGI. Like,
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of that where people are nitpicking.
Sure.
I don't think I can't say I don't think. I haven't seen anyone saying you weren't even there, man.
Right.
So,
hey, all we can say is we know you did it, Mark. We're behind you. Not sure where you're going, but we're behind you.
yeah. All right. Andor.
Andor what? I've been waiting to do that one. All right.
Dude. You said it, and like the second you said it, like he's been holding on to that one for weeks.
Oh, that's funny. Crack myself up.
That's about it.
Yep.
Such a dad joke.
Yep. I'm a dad.
All right. But for real this time, we're talking about season 1, episode 11, Daughter of Ferrix.
Right.
Well, it was a good episode.
It was a good episode. Yeah, I think this is one of those types of episodes that, you know, you could probably let yourself, you know, glaze over a little bit and miss some stuff, but there's, you know, what I'm guessing going to be stuff that becomes significant later. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it was kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
I think the Luthen stuff was probably the meat of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
All of a sudden Saw's in.
Yeah, that was a little weird. But, you know.
I think they did that to show maybe Saw is a little unstable.
Well, it was funny. What did Luthen say to him? He's like, oh, what was it? Like, stay with me here, something like that. He's like, but it was definitely clear that, you know, Saw's paranoia, it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, yeah, but he's been living that life his whole life, so you can kind of understand, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're always on the run, you're always looking over your shoulder, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And, you know, I mean, this war, it's just a continuation for him, right? The
Yes.
fight never stopped.
Right.
You know, he was involved in the Clone Wars.
Yep.
And then it just carried right over. He never stopped. It was immediate resistance.
Exactly. Yep.
I do like how Luthen played it in here, though. Like who's your guy in here? Who's your guy in here?
Oh, yeah.
Tubes.
It's Tubes, yeah. He's like, what? He's like, no way.
Forrest Whitaker was fantastic here, man.
Oh, for sure.
I didn't know he could be that crazy. He's definitely sold the crazy.
Yes. He did it well. Yeah, I don't know. So I guess the big takeaway there is, again, Luthen is willing to let Krieger and his crew get wiped out, all for the greater good, right?
Well, I mean, an asset in the ISB, that's pretty big.
Sure, but I mean, he's I don't know. He's just willing to like let a lot of his allies just go because
I mean, it's only 30 men.
Yeah, sure. It's only
plus Krieger,
but he's willing to like let that happen, and people need to suffer throughout the galaxy. It's like, well, what do you mean? So, yeah, he's ruthless. That's for sure.
Yeah, it'll all work out in the end.
Oh, sure.
I mean, it's the long game, right? He knows he's going to swell his ranks.
Right.
If he lets this stuff happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Is it a bit sadistic? Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I guess all of this is going to, add up to what we see in episode 4, right? I mean, that's, and in Rogue One, that's what we're getting, and how do you put it? Maybe it's supposed to be uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like episode 4 was pretty black and white. You had the good guys, the bad guys. Good guys come together, blow up the Death Star, yay! Right, big celebration at the end. But to get to that point, you had to go through some pretty uncomfortable things, right? I mean, and we're seeing that now.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing what does it take for people to put their life on the line for future prospects of others.
Right.
I mean, that's a tough call. Like it's easy to say, oh yeah, I'd do it. I did it. Whatever. How bad does it have to get before you're like, yeah, it's better to die fighting for something better than to live under this.
Right.
And yeah, I think they're doing a good job of kind of laying that out. And that's kind of where Cassian comes in this, right? He's with his I don't even know the guy's name that he broke out with.
Melchi?
Oh, is that Melchi?
That's Melchi.
He looked different in this episode. Man, that like 48 hours was not good to him.
Hey, subtitles, man. Because it says Melchi.
I was using them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and he was the one freaking out the most, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I can do this. That's him, right?
Yeah, with I can't hold on and all that. Yeah.
No. I mean, when they were getting ready to break out.
Oh, I can't remember exactly which guy it was. Might have been.
I think it was him.
Yeah.
And now he's all like, oh, dude, we got to tell everybody.
Right. Yes.
If you're in self-preservation mode, that is the worst thing you can do.
I know. Yeah, because then Imperial's going to be like, hey, who told you that? That guy.
And he's even like doubling down. He's like, we got to split up. It doubles our chance.
Right.
Like, we're probably going to die doing this. Like, who are you?
Right.
So, no, you definitely see Cassian's like, all right, yeah, you're right. We do. I don't know if he's just nodding.
Yeah, I mean, he's still in stunned disbelief of his mother at that point, but you know.
Well, it's probably definitely a breaking point, right? He wasn't there for her last days because of the Empire.
Right. Oh yeah. I'm sure that's got something to do with it.
She wouldn't come with him
Right.
because of the Empire.
Right.
So, yeah. It's a good time to rev him up.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right. Speaking of Easter eggs. Ever since we're talking about Cassian.
Right.
A quad jumper?
Yeah.
I mean, this is not. It's not like a quad jumper. It's just like this common thing in Star Wars, right?
Well, it is now.
It is now. So I guess, and when it's in the dialogue, yeah, it was written. So apparently, it's only the old Easter eggs that are a problem.
Right. Yeah, true. Good point. Because yes. Yeah, this one is written. Yes, this one, yeah. Gilroy knew all about, yeah. But yeah, it was funny. I had to look even, because it was like, yeah, it's the same type of ship that Ray mentioned, and it's like, yep, it's the exact same type of ship as what was in Force Awakens. So, but
yeah, so these aliens too, they got a sense of humor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching this whole part. I was like, oh, really? They just like stumbled themselves into some bounty hunters.
Right.
Like they set a trap, walked away from their ship, knowing that one of these inmates is going to take the bait. And then you get to the end and they're like, Empire's not going to kill you today.
Right. Yeah. It was funny. Not exactly sure how all that, like, I guess they just got lucky. I don't know. Maybe those aliens, they hate the Empire more than they, want the reward. Not sure, but
No, I think it was laid out there, right? They poisoned the water.
Sure. Yeah.
They've ruined this planet.
Yes.
For what? So,
yeah.
Yeah, they're disgruntled.
Yeah, for sure. So they're gonna help these two escapees just out of spite. That's funny. I mean,
yeah. It's a little bit of a jump.
Yeah. At least we know how Cassian gets off the planet, because we were kind of wondering how that was going to happen.
I mean, it does kind of set the mood, right? Like other persons in the galaxy would rather help two escaped prison inmates,
right,
than the Empire. Like, yeah, we can trust these two dudes more.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Good point.
Like, and from what I could tell, they didn't even ask for gas money.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking, I'm sure Cassian had to offer them something, because you know, he had that stash, but
Right.
You know, by the time that they were like taken off, we hadn't seen that happen. So
That's another thing too, man. I hate to put it this way, but dude, what kind of balls do you have to go back to the place you got arrested?
yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing, but it's like, man, gotta get that money, you know.
He needs a wheelbarrow for those things, dude.
Yep.
I saw that. I was like, really? That's where you went? You went back to Star Wars Cancun? Like,
Right. Although it certainly didn't seem like as populated at that point, did it?
No, but it was early.
Yeah,
you
sure.
know, after you go to these resorts, there's no early risers, dude.
Right.
So that wasn't too unbelievable. But yeah, I saw that. I was like, and not only that, but he goes back to St. Pat. Like, yeah. I get it. You need to get those credits, but like, he's like, no, I'm just going to hang out. I'm gonna party tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything left on Cassian that I'm forgetting?
I don't think so. I mean, you know, a lot of it ties into Cassian, but I don't think it was necessarily having directly to do with Cassian. You know, Marva, right? You know,
Right.
you know, the call at the end there to what's his name? Zan or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love that he's like, no names.
No names.
And then he calls him Zan. I'm like,
and then yeah, tell Marva. It's like, what do you mean? Wait a second. You know,
he just said, don't use my name.
right?
That's the only rule I got.
Exactly. That was hilarious. I was thinking the same thing.
He literally followed up no names with Zan.
Right.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, that was funny.
So, where was I going? Wow, I just had a huge brain fart. Anywho, let's talk Mon Mothma.
Oh yes. Having some money issues.
Which we knew,
Yes.
but it doesn't seem to have taken her long to go back to reconsidering the offer. You know, introduce her daughter.
Yeah. Now, so whatever group this is that her daughter's involved with, it almost seems like that's their tradition or something too. So,
it's definitely an old ways thing, right? Like,
right. So is you know, maybe her daughter's going to kind of be on board with this then.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of like the person who has the biggest problem with it is Aunt Vel, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, she makes a comment that like her husband's on board, and like not necessarily with that arranged marriage or introduction, anything like that, but he's on board with this old ways thing,
Right.
so that my issue here is it seemed like there was a hurdle because of the person involved initially, right? When she was talking to Tay,
right?
It was the person involved was the issue.
Yes.
And then now it's like just kind of laying it out there, like, well, maybe it's not going to be that big of a hurdle because, yeah, my husband's on board, my daughter's on board with this. But if that guy is that detestable, like,
I know that's the thing, but she's also got to be looking at it like, whatever it takes to, keep this rebellion going or get it kickstarted. Maybe that's what I got to do.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if the funding's gone, maybe it doesn't happen,
Well,
everything she's been, pushing for this whole time.
I don't know that it doesn't happen. It happens without her.
Well, sure. Exactly.
I mean, it's definitely self-preservation right here.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah, I thought that whole exchange was weird.
Yeah, it was.
I really had a feeling that it was because of who that guy was. Not so much because of the practice.
Right.
This made it more about the practice, less about who that guy was.
Yeah, true.
Because that guy was made out to be almost like a gangster.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's like, Al Capone sitting in your living room.
Yeah. What's it gonna? He's coming here. Like,
right.
I can't be seen with him.
Exactly.
You're gonna marry your daughter to his son? Like, that's on the table? To hell with meeting him.
Right.
And then, like, some financial transactions involving him after a arranged marriage.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm no ISB agent, but
yeah, we're gonna want to see some, documentation as to
yeah. Where's your papers?
Right.
I mean, this just seems like an easy audit.
Yeah, true.
So I don't know. That was a weird exchange.
It was.
So, all right, Luthen.
Yeah, him again.
Yeah, but we got to talk about the action.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. I just got to ask you, you chuckled and you're like, all right, go ahead.
Uh-huh.
What do you got to say about this?
I don't, man. It's like, okay, I'll play it the lighthearted way, I guess. Oh, well, what's he doing with Darth Maul's ship? I mean,
oh, that's where you're going with it?
Well, I mean, the heck was that? I don't know. Yeah, that was weird. But why? Where are you going with it?
So I'm going to sound like an asshole saying this.
Okay.
So it's obvious that Tony Gilroy isn't a fan of Star Wars because he doesn't want it to be like Star Wars. But
Right.
he's obviously a James Bond fan.
Okay.
Because this ship just has like
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
It's totally a James Bond like
Aston Martin. Yeah. Gotcha.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, this pops out and it shoots all this shit.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, Luthen, one guy in a ship takes out the same amount of ties as like Han and Luke when they escape the Death Star. But yeah, I don't know.
And it's even got the like waiting for it to charge.
Oh,
like,
I know. He's stalling. Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching that. I was like, I'm a huge James Bond fan. Don't get me wrong. I dug it from that aspect. You know, you got this like luxury vehicle, and then all of a sudden it's doing all this.
Right.
I thought it was a little over the top with the two laser beams and he cuts them in half. I'm like,
that was, yeah. Yeah. It was a bit much.
like, he's going through there. I'm like, let's try spinning. That's a good trick.
Exactly.
I was just like, man, this thing's got some gadgets. It was cool. Don't get me wrong.
Cool. Right. Yeah. I mean,
I'm not bashing on it but it was cool. It was a fun scene to watch. I just like, wow, they went all in on this one.
Right.
It's all new gadgets. I didn't know tractor beams had to be these big radar dishes. But
well, you know, I was gonna say I suppose you could hide all that into the surface structure of a Death Star, you know, and you wouldn't see them. But, yeah, I don't know. I guess you could do the same on a ship, but I mean, you know, there they were, giant right there on the nose and wings of the ship. It's, yeah. But
so this is like one of my, I wouldn't exactly call it a pet peeve. Have we seen this class of Imperial ship before? Before I get ahead of myself,
I'm going to, we have not in live action. This, I'm pretty sure if I'm remembering correctly, I'm pretty sure this is prior concept art.
Okay.
For some sort of interdictor ship or something like that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but the interdictor was different, right? Like.
Well, I mean, I could have the name wrong or something. Or something.
Because wasn't the interdictor the one that pulled ships out of hyperspace?
Maybe. But it was.
And it had those big, like, bubbles on the bottom.
It was concept art for a prior show, series, movie, something that they're using now. That's I'm pretty sure that is the case. Yeah.
But
what it's called, I don't know.
Okay. But this is becoming pet peeve is a little strong. But this, we gotta put a new ship in every new show, new series, new whatever. We got to put a new ship. Look, man, like there's all these talks. Like you have the new novels and stuff. They're competing for resources. You know, you got this whole thing going on where the funding is going to this or that, and they're fighting over it. I just can't believe that they're creating all this new stuff. It just seems like the war effort would have been better sustained by just creating the same thing. Like, you find something that works and you just keep creating that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because I can kind of see it from two angles, right? The galaxy is a big place, but
it's the Empire. It's the same entity creating these.
Yes, you have an empire, and it's like you want to standardize, right? Standardize on your vehicles, standardize on your uniforms, your everything, right? Standardize, make it simple, because you got to make a lot of them. So, yeah. Like I said, I can see it from both ways. It's cool to see new stuff.
It is.
But it wouldn't practically happen. Yeah.
No. I mean, practically, it's obvious why they lost, I guess, but I mean, the amount of competition, like, they couldn't make a specific TIE fighter because of the Death Star project. Right. But they're making these cruisers and Star Destroyers. I don't understand why the TIE fighter budget was such a problem. And think of the sheer scale of even these cruisers. Like, yeah, it doesn't make sense that they'd be making so many. Right. So if this has been used before, I'm eating my words right now. But I don't remember this particular cruiser.
Right. I do believe it was concept art that they were, going back into, digging out.
So sticking to that no Easter egg policy.
Right. Hey, if anything, I will say, with those dishes, this ship would make a great satellite. So,
Oh, for sure.
That way Luthen can pick up that DirecTV.
Yeah, they definitely didn't have shielding, though. Like,
true. That's funny, because I will say, those almost look like metal projectiles, as opposed to some sort of energy weapon,
No, I agree with that. Like, they're definitely solid objects.
Yeah.
But they definitely look like they're designed to be a countermeasure to this particular ship.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
I mean, how's that work on a Star Destroyer, like your standard Star Destroyer? What does that do for you then if you get a tractor beam there?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. It worked out well for this show.
It did.
I mean, hey, it made this interesting, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, because the fact that they're solid objects. I mean, didn't deflector shields work on asteroids and things like that?
That I don't know. I couldn't I mean, I'm trying to think here. You got me going. I'm thinking back to Han. That wasn't a laser blast. Something hit us. So he could definitely tell a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he could tell a difference. But did it get past the shields? Or did it just react different?
If something was just hitting the shields, wouldn't it be like the buffer and be harder to tell? You know? I don't know. We're really nitpicking this.
but at the same time, you see the ship react when laser blasts are hitting the deflector shields.
Yeah, that's true.
The ship's shaking. Like it's not like all the concussion is gone.
Right. It's true.
Because it's hitting the deflector shields. It's not true. These things are rocking all over the place. Do, 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 do.
Oh, yeah.
So I just feel like if an asteroid hits the ship, it's like, oh, that wasn't a laser blast.
Yeah, I know.
Something hit us. But if it went right through the shield, like, I feel like you'd be a little more, it would wing you a little more than that.
Well, you know, I mean, these are, you know, it's good Carillion construction.
Good Durasteel right there.
Yeah, Durasteel. Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think an asteroid would just, or any just object would just penetrate the deflectors. I didn't think it was purely energy blast, but maybe it is.
Maybe you can't have the deflector shields on when you're tractor beaming somebody.
Oh, there might be something to that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Especially if it is energy based. Yeah, here we go. Talking physics and science. And
yeah, I know.
Wars.
This is way deep down a rabbit hole.
None of it ever made sense. It shouldn't make sense.
Exactly.
Fantasy. Got to be careful. We'll become Star Trek.
Right.
And we're all thinking, like, this could be real.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But no.
Don't think so.
So, yeah. But it just seemed like everything was designed for this particular instance.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I don't know. It seemed to work out, though.
Oh, it worked out. It worked out. So, all right. Anything else we're missing here?
Nothing I can think of off the top of my head. Pretty good episode, but I think it's all in setup for what's to come.
For Karn.
Yeah, Karn, yeah. Mm-hmm. Stealing
I know
money.
you're happy he's back.
Stealing money from his mom, yeah.
Was it from his mom?
I'm pretty sure. Didn't he wait for her to leave the house and he goes back in and opens up her safe and takes some money?
Oh, I guess so, yeah. After chastising her 2 weeks ago for going through his stuff.
Right.
They got a messed up relationship, man.
That's for sure.
Still waiting to see what the hell this dude's doing in this show.
I know. It better be good.
Yeah, because his appearances have been lackluster and distracting.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. Really don't know what this dude's doing. Well. All right. If you have anything to add, you can always email us, show at thewordsandmore.com. It's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media at The Words and More on Twitter, facebook.com/thewordsandmore. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewordsandmore.com. Any final thoughts this week, Doug?
No, I think we've about covered it.
All right. We will talk next week.